there is nothing wrong with admitting that you're wrong. We as human beings make mistakes. We hurt people's feelings. We do the wrong thing. We say the wrong thing. That's just life. That is simply how life is. And when you finally take that responsibility of admitting your faults to yourself and to the person that you might have hurt, I think that's when you grow as a person, and when you really can show up for them fully. And sometimes that means showing up for yourself so you don't put yourself in that situation with hurting other people. Because I honestly think, I know I've talked about this before, but the concept of hurt people. Let me say it again. Hurt people. And that really just is a cycle. It is so true. Kind of like the saying of like, the bully is someone at home who has a bad home life. They take it out on other people because they don't know how to deal with it within themselves. And I think when you block yourself off, when you become cold to people, when you try to deal with things that are difficult, it shows. If it's a good way or in a bad way, or whichever way. And when that way ends up hurting people, you need to take responsibility. And most often, your actions are you inevitably trying to cope with yourself. You trying to balance every single thing going on in your life, on top of trying to be there for people, trying to bend over backwards for others. And the important thing is that you're not perfect. I'm not perfect. We aren't perfect. And when we can realize that, and when we can give ourselves the grace not to make mistakes, but to forgive ourselves for making those mistakes, is when you and I can grow as people. And I think so often we never have the intention of trying to hurt people, because that's just not who we are. We want to help people. We want to be there for people. We never want to genuinely cause harm, because that's just not the vibe. And when we do, especially towards our loved ones, the people that we love and care for, it is mind-blowing. It's very much a time in your life that you're like, man, what? That was never my intention, but that's how it came off. And when you can first admit your mistake to yourself, and then admit that mistake to that other person, that is where it all comes through. That is when maybe you can fix that relationship, that friendship, that connection. Family member, friend, significant other, co-worker, you name it. It doesn't have to be something crazy, but you can at least put the effort forward. At least you can try to show that you actually care about them, that you never had the intention to hurt them. I also think it's important to let them know where you were. Emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually at times. I don't know, whatever floats your boat. Because we react certain ways because we are internally dealing with things. But that's not fair for the other people to not know that when you're struggling, when you're hurt, when you're in a bad spot. And I say this because we as people sometimes can compartmentalize things. We can put them away and just forget about them and try to forget about them. I forget about them anyways. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Because in the end, it always spews out in different ways. It always comes out in a different perspective. Whether it's shutting out people, like being emotionally unavailable, whether that's literally you just struggling, it comes out and it's there. And I think it's hard when you don't know how to deal with it and how to tell people, because you just are trying. You're trying your best, and sometimes it feels like your best isn't enough because you don't have anything left for yourself. And so you're trying to be your best and the best for other people when you can't even be that for yourself. that's hard. That's really hard. And when you realize that you're spread thin, tell those people that you're spread thin so they know where you are. Miscommunication is literally just because the other person doesn't understand where you are. They don't realize what's going on in your life. When you try to keep controlling, you end up losing all your marbles. You end up being physically tired, mentally, emotionally, like literally every single part of you drained. So I want to leave you with this. Have you unintentionally, intentionally hurt someone? Yes? No? Whatever your answer may be, reflect on it and see what has happened. Take responsibility or think about how you avoided that. Because every single experience, moment, disaster, success is a time to reflect. It's a time to really change and grow as a person. And I think, honestly, when seasons change, it's a time for you to change as well. And I think it's honestly a symbolism, like a signal, like a sign, like a resemblance that you're allowed to change to, just like the weather is. And no one says that you have to stay the same. And that yes, you can be happier during some seasons and weather, but that doesn't mean that you can't have control of your life and how you portray yourself and talk to people and communicate with others, because you do. You do have that control. So remember, be kind to yourself and forgive yourself for your mistakes, but also be accountable, because it shows the other people, that other person, that you actually care and that you want to make amends and that you want to fix things and make things right. Whatever that definition is, so be it. But you can do it. Food for thought.